You've heard them all before. Acai berries, quinoa, chia seeds. Superfoods are everywhere. But do they really have superpowers, or are they just really smart marketing as a trick? Every few months, a new health trend pops up, which promises to make you healthier, smarter, faster, stronger, and live better. Turmeric lattes, bulletproof coffee, ice baths. The internet explodes with influencers swearing by their attributes, and these trends claiming that they hold the key to weight loss, mental clarity, or even reverse aging. But let's pause for a second. How much is backed by actual science, and how much of it is just really good marketing? Today, see what's legit, what's exaggerated, and most importantly, what should you be doing for your health? So join us. Whoever coined the phrase superfoods is a genius. These things are marketed as nutritional supplements and powerhouses. But here's the reality. Most of them aren't fundamentally different from everyday foods we already eat. What makes a superfood super? They are typically, though, nutrient dense, rich in antioxidants and vitamins, and minerals. The food industry loves branding certain foods as super to sell them at higher prices. There's no official definition, and it depends on where you look. It's more of a marketing term than a scientific classification. The term first emerged in the early 20th century as a marketing strategy by the United Fruit Company to promote bananas. Now, how we went from bananas to acai to all these other things, who knows? But the bottom line is they've now been relegated to all kinds of things which are sold in every store as a superfood. What is critical, though, is the label often misleads you into thinking that they have overestimated health benefits, when in fact there's no real randomized data that looks at one versus another. In fact, you might be able to get all of these if you have a balanced diet and deal with the other components of your life. There was a very good study on this coming out of the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, which looked at superfoods or super hype. And what it noted is there's no scientifically based or regulated definition for the term. Generally, it's a food which is promoted to superfood status, which is linked to disease prevention or whatnot, and usually has high levels of desirable nutrients. But what is the truth between superfoods versus a balanced diet? And here's the rub. No matter how healthy a food is, a single superfood can never make up for a balanced diet. Eating a variety of nutrient-dense foods which complement you, including the macros and the micros, is probably the best way to handle your own nutritional requirements. And it's been shown time and again that a balanced diet is really the super food that you need to establish. The global superfood market is worth $189.5 billion in 2024, according to numerous studies. And it's projected to grow further. Who's benefiting, though? Is it the consumers or is it the business? And it becomes very clear that there's a conflict of interest here in how we look at things. Social media's obsession with clean eating is making people fearful of normal, everyday foods. And this can lead to anxiety around food choices, because if you don't have a superfood, how is it that you can get what you need? More importantly, in places like India where I live, the accessibility to these superfoods may be relegated to the urban elites. And these are the folks who can afford these high-end superfoods. But the truth is, there's many people, a large part of India, that struggles with basic nutrition. If there was ever a conflict of interest on why they're marketing and selling these things to you, it exists here. But when you combine that with the science of the fact that many of the things that are there in these energy-dense, nutrient-dense foods that you can get from a balanced diet, then it's very clear why the marketing is pushing you to that realm. Are there alternatives to superfoods which are more affordable? The answer is absolutely. If you will eat a balanced diet and you bring this all together, it doesn't have to be about one food or another. And this may sound really simplistic in my mind and yours. If you cover the macros in your particular diet plan, and yours may be different than mine, different than your mom's, different than your sister's, different than your wife's, because their nutritional needs might be different depending on where they are in their state of life, whether they're pregnant or whether they're working out hard, or whether they're a young child who's growing, or whether they're someone who's in the peak of their life but working 80-hour work weeks. What I think needs to be the less expensive and appropriate alternative is to cover all your macros, cover all your caloric needs, and bring it together with a balanced diet that is appropriate for your particular age, your particular exercise regimen, and your particular state of life. And that actually brings together all of this. And that's not to say that anyone shouldn't eat them. It's just to say that one separate food will not make a difference. It's the combined cornucopia in a balanced diet that's going to make the difference for you. Here's a couple of examples of where these superfoods have nutrients here versus where else they're found. And my point is this, that while the superfoods may have a higher density of them, you can still get all of the nutrients that you want from a balanced diet from other sources. Great example is resveratrol, which was originally in the data for drinking a glass of wine. But in truth, it's also found in other berries, as well as in the skins of grapes or in grape juice. And so the negative effects of drinking alcohol were always there, and no one relegated to one glass of wine. And that actually became the calling card for a whole nother industry. But in fact, you could get the same things from grape juice and other things. So we'll leave some things in the soups here, and you do the math. But what's clear to me is that you can get a lot of these things from other components rather than just superfoods, and you don't need to pile in just one class of antioxidants or one class of nutrient dense. Instead, you can mix it up so that the availability is there and also the cost goes down. In summary, you guys, my belief is superfoods are all hype. And you may disagree with me, but I don't think any one food taken alone is going to change anything. I think you get maximum benefit when you have a customized diet which is appropriate for what you're trying to achieve, with easy meal preps and smart alternatives, because the idea to this is simple, that you get your micro and macro requirements, you get your caloric needs met. And the key is it becomes sustainable. Because let's face the facts, if you don't eat, you don't get your nutrition. And if you eat in a way where you can't find stuff, can't afford stuff, can't find a store near you which has that stuff, how are you going to get what you need? Finally, the last thing is, if you're going out to eat and you're not at home, can you do this in an efficient manner without breaking the bank and at the same time provide for you and your family? Ultimately, superfoods aren't a scam. These are energy-dense foods. And what we're saying is that they're not a shortcut to perfect health. The real superpower comes from eating a balanced, well thought out, whole food diet and not just chasing the trends. Hope you liked this. And if you did, leave it in the comments below. If you want to hear more about one thing or another, we will put it in there. As always, we'll leave the evidence-based links because me and my team strive to give you good evidence-based medicine, not just hype. And we have no conflict of interest because we're not subsidized by any means, and we are trying to bring the best to all of you guys. Like always, help us grow this channel by hitting the like button, the subscribe button, and sharing this with your friends, because I want to make you guys come with me on the 100-year or more journey. And we're working on longevity together for better, stronger, happier lives. Thanks for joining us, and I appreciate everything that you guys are doing for us on the channel as it grows. I'll talk to you soon and look forward to hearing your comments.